Warning: the views and revelations expressed in this vlog may be hazardous to a fragile or inflated ego. If you are easily offended or sensitive to constructive criticism or information that may challenge your worldview or way of living, stop this video or proceed with caution.
It is not my intent to offend or judge anyone for their choices. However, I would be remiss if I did not freely share information when my core and spirit moves me to do so.
As always, only take whatever resonates with your core and leave the rest behind.
I'm going to give you guys a warning, and it's all connected to sex. Now, I had just done a video about depression. And one of the comments was from Dan. Thank you very much, Dan, for your comment about how depression can be brought on by too much masturbation and sex with the wrong people or too many people, whatever the case may be. Dan was making a point that I forgot to mention that in my video about how to overcome, or tips on how to overcome depression. I did not add that element because I've talked about sex and how abusing sexual energy can affect us in a negative or lower our vibration. The video about depression was what I did to pull myself out of depression and why each of those elements work. At the time, sexual activity wasn't even a factor. Quite frankly, I've never been a very sexual person. I just never got it. I never understood what the obsession was. I never understood why people cared so much about who people were having sex with. I just didn't get it. I didn't relate to it. And now that I'm older and wiser, I observe with my own revelations. I understand what is behind a lot of this and what is driving the really, honestly, the unhealthy, imbalanced way of expressing ourselves sexually. We see the end result of reckless, abusive sexual behavior across the board in our society. And yes, Dan, you are correct. Many of us are struggling and dealing with depression because we are either depleting our energies with sleeping around with or sleeping with people who are taking our energy. Our energy is being taken and depleted, and we're not doing anything to build it up or maintain it. It lowers our vibration. It throws off the chemical balances within the body. STDs are a manifestation of an imbalance. Making unhealthy, dangerous sexual choices is a result of some kind of imbalance somewhere, be it physically, spiritually, mentally, psychologically. It's all connected. Quick sidebar. If you are interested in hearing more about my perspective and revelations on the metaphysical and spiritual consequences of abusing or misusing sexual energy, please reference the 2 vlogs that I had done on this specific subject matter around 3 years ago. Links provided in this vlog's video description box. So yes, many people are dealing with depression because we are giving and sharing energies with and taking energies from people who have no love, no honor, no respect for us, and vice versa. Now that leads me to my warning. About 2 years ago, someone that I'm mentoring, so to speak, finding their way or what have you, and I told you guys before, I get my best readings when I'm not thinking about it, or I get my best revelations or forecasts when I'm not even focused or thinking about it. I got clear as day that this brother was basically going to be in a situation where he would be secretly videotaped in a sexually compromising position, and that this person was going to take the tape without his knowledge and upload it to the internet to make money. Now, I forewarned this brother, but he's very young, like 19 years old, so he went over a hookup, somebody he just met off the internet, went over to hook up. The intent was to smash and run. Smash meaning have sex with the person and leave. And this person, to his shock, set a camera up and he caught it, and it was because I planted that seed. He was more cognizant of the environment when he went over to this individual's house and saw a camera hidden underneath something, clear as day, and of course he got out of there. Now, the warning that I'm giving everyone out here is that desperate times calls for desperate measure. We live in a world, in a society where people are obsessed with sex. We live in a world where people are using sex to fill a void, to try to get love, to satisfy or feel validated. And with the economy being the way it is, people are really, really desperate and are going to sleep around, have more reckless, irresponsible sex. Although we are in a really rough spot economically, the porn industry is booming. And there are a lot of people who are now getting into pornography.
Since the porn industry is thriving big time, there will be a greater surge in general interest, recruitment, manipulation, and lure of young men and women who are in many cases naive, gullible, or desperate for money, love, direction, or guidance. This group is the most at risk for sexual exploitation, so be careful and mindful of these things.
The best-selling form of porn is the porn where there's a hidden camera. Now, many of you guys, especially men and the gullible young women who are thinking these guys love them, you must be aware that you may be getting involved in a situation where someone is recording you in the sex act, where many times they're going to make sure their face is hidden, but you are exposed to the world.
Just imagine waking up one day and finding that there is a video recording of you sexually engaged with that random hookup, threesome, or group sex party on the net without your permission or knowledge. This has and is happening to many people, and this will certainly increase in frequency. Something like this may be devastating to anyone, but just imagine how devastating it may be for one who is living a dishonest life, or one who has an honorable or respectable public image to protect, or one who is supposed to be in either a committed relationship or marriage.
I see it clear as day. Those of us who are married, living double lives, those of us who are pretending to be heterosexual but are really on the down low, those of us who are Christian, sanctified, but are having affairs or committing, based on your religious doctrines and beliefs, committing fornication and adultery, going against what you say your moral code and sense of integrity is. Those of us who engage in these things, you are in a timeline where you run a very high risk of being exposed. We are living in a time where everything hidden in the dark will come to life, or come to light. Will come to life too. Hey, that's another way of looking at it. It will come to life because a lie is death and truth is life and light. So I would like for you guys to really take in this information, share it with as many people as possible. Now, I know that some people may even jump out there and allow themselves to get into a possibly compromising situation on camera, because the celebrity world has practically glorified sex on tape. It's almost trendy and chic to put out a video of someone having sex on camera. So there are going to be people who are probably going to look forward to doing these things and getting caught up, and may even get patted on the back and get opportunity. And again, when you have eyes, you can really see through all of that. It is not all that it seems. And so even still, you have the information. That's all I have to say. A fair warning, pass the word. Thank you guys for your time.